The battlefield is no longer linear. It branches, it forks. Shantae entered 2 timelines, and what she found was not speculation. It was a message. In one path, Focus 1, the West escalates military support to Ukraine. Aid increases, conflict spreads. In the other, Focus 2, restraint prevails. Less aid, less fire, more delay. Shantae saw cities dismantled by impact, smoke rising, missiles cutting through the sky. People screamed, structures fell. Collapse wasn't just physical, it was symbolic. Powerlessness, debris, shock. Focus 2 showed streets alive with civilians, walking, talking, unaware. But beneath that calm was a quiet scream, a tension like a fault line under glass. These weren't just feelings. We scored the data. Symbolic intensity categories were extracted, visualized, and compared. Violence, fire, calm, powerlessness. Every element mapped to a frequency, a profile. Then we ran the numbers, a chi-squared test on the symbolic intensities. The result? A p-value of 0, statistically absolute. Shantae's vision of Focus 1 and Focus 2 wasn't vaguely different. It was light versus dark, collapse versus pause, 2 futures written in fire and fog. Shantae said, in Focus 1, everything collapsed. In Focus 2, it was like trying not to fall. This wasn't noise. This was clarity. The timelines are diverging, and one is louder. The war doesn't end the same way twice. And in Shantae's eyes, only one path had fire. Which timeline are we walking?
Hi everyone, welcome to Deep News. Here we have Shantae, and Shantae, just to be clear, you do not know the nature of the target, correct?
That's correct.
All right, so how about we just jump right into it? You've got your first A through D page I'm looking at right here, so yeah, just take it away.
All right, so my initial perception were a base surface with level topography. I have natural and man-made land with moderate foliage and wind-type sounds. There's a land-water interface with multiple surface structures. I also have multiple subjects inside of structures and movement by subjects with talking sounds. I have a sketch with multiple surface structures of various sizes with a land-water interface and multiple subjects. Moving on to my first splash sketch, I have subjects inside and outside of surface structures. There's a man-made environment with some foliage, and I have some male subjects. Next, I have a top-down view of what looks like an urban environment. There's multiple surface structures with light hues, and I've deducted they have a modern appearance. There's man-made land here. For my next sketch, I have many subjects inside of a surface structure. There's male subjects mostly with formal attire, and outside I have some foliage at the base surface as well. For my next flash sketch, I have movement of subjects with movement in one direction. There's a crowd of subjects, and it looks like there's blocked flow of their movement. I also have bright light here. Next, I have subjects inside of a structure. There's sitting and talking activity in what looks like a focus gathering. And I have a main subject of focus here as well.
All right, so what'd you get with Focus 1?
At Focus 1, for the center of the target, I had fast movement by an object that I've labeled Object A. There's a surface structure with some square shapes and light hues. This is a large structure. I have light energetics and paths of light. There's a focus gathering and crowd of subjects. There's an outside environment with a man-made land area. I have loud sounds and tall man-made objects. And I have a sketch with this hard man-made materials. There's gray hues and this is inside of a structure. Moving to the target event for Focus 1, I have movement by subjects. It's multi-directional movement, and I've deducted they're moving around something or avoiding an obstacle. There's the use of electrical energetics and an importance of technology. The subjects inside the structure are interacting with technology objects, or there's connected objects. I've deducted they're in sync or not all in one location, like sending a signal. There are male subjects in formal attire, and there's a conflict between subjects. There's this talking and back and forth. And it seems like they're being told they can't do something, or there's blocked access, or they're prohibited. Getting a flash sketch for focus 1, I have the interior of a structure. It has a modern appearance with bright lights. I've deducted this is a work environment, and I have connection to another branch or work activity. So I have these subjects, they're working with man-made objects inside the structure, and it is connected to a focus on information or a database, and I've deducted this is a large organization and there's less subjects in this separate area. Getting another flash sketch, I have a female subject with formal attire. She seems to be interacting or leading a group of subjects, and I've deducted there's a team dynamic here. Moving to object A and describing, this object has a circular or round shape. There's light hues, white hues. This is a semi-large object, like too large or heavy to hold, but it's not huge. And I have heat energetics. My viewer feels this is an unsafe object, like I would not want to be in a close proximity to this object. And this object stays above the base surface on what seems like a continuous path. This is a non-surface object. Moving to the target activity here, I have what looks like levels or layers of rapid moving non-surface objects. There's multiple non-surface objects with multiple paths and destinations. There's movement that's not always obvious or visible, or it seems unpredictable for the subjects below. There's some interference with technology or a loss of control. And I have energetics striking the base surface. I've deducted there's something being contained or captured or taken or decommissioned. And continuing to probe here, I have a large man-made area. I'm seeing more non-surface objects, but they're on the base surface, like deducting before they were launched or used. I have non-surface objects communicating data together. There's damage to the base surface, loud sounds, rapid destruction or dismantling of structures, and I have cloud dynamics at the base surface.
All right, so what'd you get for focus 2?
At the center of focus 2, I have an urban environment with multiple surface structures. There's movement by subjects outside on the base surface. This is a busy environment with movement of vehicles. I have tan and beige hues with moderate temperatures. Moving to the center of scene R for focus 2, I have multiple subjects, both male and female. They have a mix of casual and nice attire. There's walking activity. I've deducted these are fancy or wealthy subjects. They just seem to be going about their day, but they also seem oblivious. Their activity is insignificant, but there's some underlying activity of focus here. There's a growing tension amongst the subjects. There's a focus on influence that these subjects possess, and this is a modern environment.
All right. Well, that was a really interesting session. So, are you ready to find out what the target reveal would be?
Yes.
All
Let me
right.
get my laptop.
Okay, yeah. I've sent you an email of the target reveal, and so now you can check it out. It should say Shantae Deep News Target Reveal, and when you get that open, just why don't you just read out the title of it? First of all, also let me know if you see the email. I can always send it again.
Yeah, I got it.
Okay, great, cool.
Okay, so we have Deep News, the Ukraine war as experienced in Western Europe. Whoa.
Yes. Yeah, whoa. So you basically are going through the future. Right now we're recording this in March, so we're looking at a general overlay of the rest of the year, which is pretty much April through December of 2025. and we wanted to see Focus 1, which is the most significant event relating to the Ukraine war with Russia, but outside of Ukraine, in Western Europe, under the conditions where Europe sends additional and significant military resources to help Ukraine fight the war. This is the timeline where the war evolves as it is currently evolving as of March 2025. So peace not being on the table at the time the target was written, and negotiations not really seeming like they're working out, and Western Europe basically going full steam into war with Russia. So the other one, Focus 2, is basically the opposite. It's the most significant event relating to the Ukraine war with Russia, but outside of Ukraine, in Western Europe, under the conditions where Europe does not send additional and significant military resources to help Ukraine fight the war. So, yeah, we just wanted to see if they get heavy into the fighting, like full steam ahead, as far as the Western European countries go, with this war with Ukraine, then we wanted to see what would that look like for Western Europe. And from your session and other people's sessions, it looks like destruction of structures, violence seems to touch Western Europe. And in the other department, you basically have, if negotiations sort of seem to be a stronger force, people sort of talking things out more than fighting things out seem to be the dominant trajectory. That's basically a situation like you described in your Focus 2. It just looks like a regular city, and it seems like the focus is just on the influence of subjects, but there doesn't seem to be much violence, and that was pretty interesting data altogether. I mean, it was pretty telling expose. So yeah, any questions, comments, thoughts?
I honestly don't have any questions. No, I guess not.
All right. Well, yeah, this is it was a very interesting session. It's honestly, I guess a knee-jerk reaction that I guess most people would have is that they just don't want fighting and death and destruction, period. So from your remote viewing session, it seems like Focus 2 has the least amount of physical violence, at least in the scope of the territories of Western Europe. So, but we'll see what happens. This is interesting. The news seems to be reporting back and forth reports saying, there's ceasefires on, but then the ceasefires are off, and then there's negotiations are on, and negotiations are off, and it's I don't know. I've just been seeing a lot of back and forth with regards to how the war and the negotiations are playing out from the Western Europe side. So it's as well as America's involvement in terms of the negotiations. So time will tell whether or not we're in more of a Focus 1 scenario or more of a Focus 2 scenario. So yeah, great remote viewing session, and I guess we'll all be excited to see what the reality that we live tends to be.
Yeah, I guess it's good to see there was the potential of peace, at least.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's definitely a good thing to see with your remote viewing session. That definitely shows up. Yeah. Any other final concluding questions or comments?
Nope.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Shantae, and thank you everybody else for watching.
Thanks.